Those who are asking, did you say Biafra will come in 2023? Biafra has been restored already. What is remaining is a complete declaration that will be defended. And before that happens, there are many things that we need to put in place. I want you to recount the achievement of the Biafra Republic government in exile under the leadership of Simon Ekpa, what we have achieved in 2023, and ask yourself that question again, and you will look very stupid. We have been able to form government in exile in 2023. In 2023, we have formed the de facto government. In 2023, we have launched Biafra Liberation Army. In 2023, we launched Biafra Navy, we launched Biafra Air Force, we launched the forces of Biafra. In 2023, we adopted Helsinki Declaration, which is the constitution of Biafra. In 2023, we had a convention in Finland where Biafra people gathered from all over the world as delegates to vote on the Biafra Charter, which is a living document subjected to amendment. In 2023, we have created 40 states of Biafra, and believe me, many more states will come because we are not done yet. In 2023, not only that we created state, we also brought a redesigned and a redrawn Biafra map to reflect the current situation and the current demography of Biafra. In 2023, we started engaging officially Nigeria state in a guerrilla warfare on self-defense. In 2023, we officially and publicly engaged Nigeria terrorist army, and we are neutralizing them on daily basis. It has never happened before in the history of Biafra after the war. In 2023, we publicly and openly made sure that Nigeria doesn't kill again in Biafra land and go free. So, if you look at those things I've mentioned and those ones I have not even mentioned, are you still going to challenge Simon Ekpa that Biafra has not been restored in 2023? Biafra declaration is not about mouth pronouncement. It's about putting every structure in place. It's about putting every mechanism and measures in place to shaping the map and the structure of Biafra. In 2023, we have designed the economic viability of Biafra. In 2023, we have kicked off the Biafra Urban Development Project. In 2023, we've made a lot of impact globally. In 2023, the Biafra awareness gained the highest momentum in the history of Biafra since after the war. In 2023, we made the Nigeria terrorist army to cry on the floor of National Assembly. It has never happened in the history of Nigeria. In 2023, those who are serving as the agent of Nigeria, benefiting from the corrupt entity called Nigeria, openly called for persecution, execution, and the kidnapping and arresting of Simon Ekpa because they know that this is a different thing from what they have seen in their entire life. In 2023, they call for the arrest of Simon Ekpa and call for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Confusion. In 2023, after they have used many years to plan the kidnap of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, they have come to say Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is a saint. He's a very gentleman. He's a nice person. But just 2 years ago, they kidnapped this nice person from Kenya. 2 years ago, they tortured him for 8 days. 2 years ago, he was an evil man. 2 years ago, they called him terrorist. 2 years ago, he was everything evil to them. 2 years ago, they spent hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. They kidnapped him and put him into a private jet from Kenya to Nigeria. 2 years ago, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was everything evil to Nigeria, including to Ohaneze Ndigbo and all of them. 2 years ago, he was the only problem of Nigeria. 2 years ago, he was the only person that constituted all manner of insecurity in Nigeria. He was the one who is more deadlier than Boko Haram. He was everything that Nigeria don't want to see. Today, as Simon Ekpa take the Biafra liberation to the next level, the same people are now calling Mazi Nnamdi Kanu the most sensible person. These are hypocrites. These are devilish people. These are criminals that only thing they want to do is to give dog a bad name in order to kill it. They have given bad that name to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. They themselves were the one who condemned Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. The same people today, they have seen that, yes, indeed, someone actually followed this footstep of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and ready to drag all of them to Biafra land. So that when we get to Biafra land, we will treat their fuck up very well. Today, the same people who gave the bad name to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in order to be kidnapped. They slandered his name, blackmailed him to other ethnic nationalities in Nigeria. All of them today has come to say that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is very sensible. Now it is Simon Ekpa is the problem. These people who are just evil from birth refuse to understand why Simon Ekpa have decided to take this thing upon himself to liberate the people of Biafra who has been subjugated and chained with Islamic State agenda. They found themselves in a hole. They tagged us, thought, in a circle, because they thought that they have actually systematically conquered everybody by dividing, creating state, dividing us, changing the demography and map of Biafra people. And at the end of the day, they structured out 5 tiny states, called it 5 Eastern states. And they say, let us continue to divide them. And now they tell you, oh, you are talking about Biafra. You are just 5 states in the circle. We have come to destroy their evil agenda. Today, you will understand that the plan of the Islamic State has failed. Today, the Biafra people are proudly announcing the 40th state, which is called the United States of Biafra. 40 complete states, cut across board, including in the area where they claim they were never Biafra. I have come to learn from what Biafra did wrong in 1967 to 1970. I have come to learn what Wazirike did wrong from the time he started the Biafra movement, and I have come to learn what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu did right and was in the process of doing before they planned and kidnapped him. I continue from there, and today we are where we are. They are not resting. Those IPOB Nigeria are not resting as well. Every given opportunity, they think that there is infight in the Biafra government. They will say, oh, their hope now is that they are fighting. And they are hoping that there is infight in the Biafra government. That is to tell you that, like we said, they are cursed. They are cursed. And they can never rise again. Biafra government in exile is a government that nobody born of a woman marching on this planet, using your foot to walk on the ground, will ever destroy. Biafra has been restored in 2023. We have a government, we have a structure of the government of Biafra, we have every department that made Biafra government a legitimate government. The people of Biafra are loyal to the government, both in the exile and in the homeland. We have governors, state administrators in all the 40 states of Biafra. We have the deputy governors, which is called administrators. We have the secretary of state of each state in Biafra land. We have the chairmen and managers of county and the district. If you do not understand that with this structure we have now, one day you will sleep in Nigeria and wake up in Biafra, it means that you are an idiot. I told you that by the time I finish with Nigeria, you will sleep in Nigeria one day and wake up in Biafra. The next phase is to set up the police of Biafra. The reason why we have not set up the police is because it is going to be state police. Every state will have their police. Every state will be independent. It is going to be local police, and there is no interference from the central government of Biafra. The military is a joint military, it's one military that will protect the territorial integrity of Biafra. When one state is attacked, it means that you have attacked all of us. So my people, for those who are asking when are you going to declare Biafra, we have already declared Biafra. We are only waiting for us to conclude the last phase of the Biafra government, and one day you will sleep and wake up in Biafra. Like I said, then we must capture every cranny of the Biafra territory.
Land of the rising sun, willow and cherry, beloved home, land of our brave heroes. We must defend our lives, or we shall perish. We shall protect our hearts from all
triumphant from all our foes. Through the crucible unscathed, we passed victorious. Our trumpets pealing, the glorious song, play it, sing it, all hail Biafra. Oh, hail Biafra, we shall always remember all that perished in the struggle for our freedom. All hail our heroes, our prayers shall be known both day and night. Say them always, all hail Biafra. All hail Biafra. Now our star shines everywhere. We crave humility. God guide and protect us all. All hail your wisdom, shielding us from fury, unleashed by our enlightenment. Biafra, Biafra, shining forever.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon to some of you. Depending on your time zone, I bring you warm greetings. We must cherish our beloved homeland of our brave heroes, and we must defend our lives or we shall perish. Sorry for the break in transmission. If the price is dead for all we hold dear, then let us die without a shred of fear. All hail Biafra. Because the Biafran government have emerged triumphant amongst every other people in one Nigeria. That is why we are proud to say that Biafra is here and Biafra will be restored. And we shall declare Biafra on 2nd of December 2024 in Finland. Greetings to all of you. If you have not gotten your ticket to Finland, please go and do so that you don't miss anything, because a lot and a lot and a lot and a lot will be happening in Finland. Yes, the news is here. It is not how far you have been fighting for Biafra that matters. It is what you are capable of putting on the table. Yes. The big question is that Simon Ekpa's Biafran government is just 2 years. 2 years in office, and now, from the video I played before, he enumerated all the achievements he has since his inception into office as the Prime Minister of the Biafran government. When he enumerated all this, he was not up to 2 years in office. Now, as I speak now, you may say that his administration is 2 years in office as the Prime Minister in the Biafran government of today. How about the DOS and the Mburumiri that were working with Martin Nnamdi Kanu for over 50 years? What has been the achievement? Now, today, the Prime Minister of the Biafran government is being able to speak to the US congressmen. He's been able to speak to the US congressmen and to speak to the Speaker of the House of the Congress, the lawmakers of the US of America. Just in 2 years, he set up the government, set up all the arms of the government, put everything in place, makes all the departments to be functional, set up a structure that a government is supposed to present according to the multi-video convention. He has set up a liberation army who are now fighting to the integrity of Biafra nation, who defends and protects and kills every terrorist that is coming to kill the women and children of Biafra on a daily basis. The sole aim of this liberation army is to protect and defend Biafra land, defend Biafra nation so that the terrorists that are coming in cannot maim and slaughter Biafrans, kidnap Biafrans, turn them into punching bags, turn them to slaves in their own land. What this administration of the Biafra government Prime Minister is doing is what no other government has done for years. No other people that have been shouting Biafra, Biafra, or have fought for Biafra for years have done. This Prime Minister has been able to achieve this just in 2 good years. These 2 good years has been full of turmoil. These 2 good years have been full of challenges. These 2 good years have been full of problems. These 2 good years have been full of enormous and enormous and enormous achievements. These 2 good years have been full of breakthroughs. These 2 good years have been full of betrayals. These 2 good years have been full of too many things that have been brought to the table in the name of the Biafran government. So it is not how far you have been in the Biafran space or sphere. It is what So the message is very clear here that it is not how far you have been in the Biafran sphere or the Biafran space that matters, but what matters is what are you doing to the Biafran people within the time given to you, within the time that you have found yourself. Remember that the Prime Minister told you guys that he will not fight this freedom more than 5 years. And within the first 2 years now, you have seen what he's done. If you are counting how far he's been fighting for the freedom, you should start the counting. You should start the counting from when he now assumes office as the Prime Minister. So start counting from there. In the first 2 years now, he's been able to break through the American Congress House. He's now speaking with the lawmakers. He's bringing Biafra to the table. is discussing Biafra with the lawmakers of America. He's making them to understand the implications of ignoring Biafra independence. He's making them to understand the importance of embracing Biafra independence. He's making them to understand the importance of joining hands with Biafra to make sure the terrorists are all destroyed, because if these terrorists are allowed to flow into America, America will be worse than what we have seen today under Joe Biden. He is putting the strides that the Biafran government have put on the table to the American congressmen, making them to understand that we have a reason for saying we must restore Biafra. Biafra is being discussed in the American Congress lawmakers' chambers as we speak today. All glory to the Prime Minister with his Biafran government. Without the Prime Minister with his visionary moves, with the lobbies that he has put in place, this wouldn't happen. Without you standing your ground to give him all the support, this will not happen. So I make bold to say, kudos to the Biafran people, kudos to the Biafran government, kudos to the Prime Minister. Airborne. You have broken the camel's back. You have done what no man has done for years. Communications and information coming from all these congressmen that we have communicated with unveils and reveals that they have not seen this kind of reach out to them before, and they have been waiting for such. So for all those that have been under Mazi Nnamdi Kanu before, whenever Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was making moves, they had always thwarted the moves, even when he tries to get rich to the American congressmen to discuss Biafra matters. The people that were working with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu had always thwarted these moves. They had always destroyed all these efforts. And so, nothing was going forward. But today, the Prime Minister has broken the camel's back. The Prime Minister has destroyed the Ndi Nzama. That destruction of Ndi Nzama in 2022 of February 28 was a landmark event. It was something that some of you may not understand. You have to, first of all, destroy the shaft, destroy the enemies within that are connecting with the enemies outside, so that the house will be totally clean. The house was cleansed, and then after the house was then clean, we were now able to make moves and to see things come to fruition. There on the screen, you can see this. Remember when this was earlier reported? This was earlier reported before that the Biafran government has hired the Moran Global Lobbyist team to do what? To make the Biafra independence to come to limelight to the American government. And today you can see that it is paying off. So it is talk and do government, government of the people, for the people, and by the people, government of visionary leaders, where you have a visionary leader that knows what it takes to bring Biafra and to restore Biafra and to secure your lives in your communities and to give you succor. That is what we're talking about. What makes the rounds today now is what the Biafran Prime Minister has done through his Biafran government. Nobody will speak for you. And while this is happening, of these political and diplomatic engagement and ties and discussions and presenting Biafra to the international community, the Biafra Defense Forces are not lacking in their duties. They are defending Biafra land, and expunging all the terrorists that are coming to kill our women and children. For those of you that are in Biafra land, you are living testimonies to what we are saying. You have seen videos everywhere, and you have seen the firepower of the Biafra Defense Forces that have been engaging the terrorist war Nigeria on this 30 days lockdown of the Nigerian institutions in Biafra land. And this will continue. So, the good news here is that Prime Minister came, Simon Ekpa came, he fought, and he has conquered, and he is winning. When he said, I will be your end, it was not just talk, talk, talk. It was, I will be your end that will bring every Nzama and one Nigeria to an end. All of you can see that the shock wave of Simon Ekpa, the shock wave of the Biafra Defense Forces, the shock wave of the Biafran government has crippled the economy of one Nigeria. Some of you thought that a change of government or a change of president will salvage the situation. No, you made a very big mistake. Because when we warned you in the 2023 elections that a change of government will not make anything, that the survivors of yesterday will still be the victim of tomorrow. You see, you survived yesterday. And today, you are the victims of Tinubu administration. You are the survivors of Buhari terrorist government. Yes. Some of you had happened to be the survivors of Goodluck Jonathan's government. Some of you transcended into survivors of Buhari terrorist government. Buhari terrorist government transcended into Tinubu. So many of you that were survivors of Buhari terrorist government have now become victims of Tinubu government in today. If you had all listened to us when we were saying before the 2023 elections that you should not vote one Nigeria, you should not support one Nigeria, you should reject everything one Nigeria, maybe what is happening today wouldn't have happened. Because the workload would have been easier with all the effort and strength that you all put in to make one Nigeria to be glorified in the international community and in the homeland. By now, we would have destroyed one Nigeria. But since you ignore the Biafran people because you don't always hearken to what the Biafran people say, you did not listen to what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said, you did not listen to what Wazirike was saying, you did not listen to what the Prime Minister was saying, and even as we speak now, you are not listening to what the Prime Minister is saying. So you will sleep in Nigeria and wake up in Biafra. That is, if the Fulani terrorists that Nigerian government have unleashed to go after the citizenry does not cut your head off before sunset. If they cut your head off before sunset, you will not wake up to see Biafra. You will sleep in Nigeria and buy in Nigeria because you don't want to hear word. Simon Ekpa Biafra government is speaking with American lawmakers in just 2 years of inception into office. Whereas other people have fought for Biafra for 20 years, other people have fought for Biafra for 30 years, other people have fought for Biafra for 15 years, and they have not gotten rich to the American government. You know, you have to create a problem to be able to counter existing problems so that you will get solutions. One Nigeria is a problem that is existing already. So for us to have been able to counter the problem that they have, we have to create our own chaos. Creating our own chaos is the equation. It is the quadratic equation that the Prime Minister created and put on the table. It became a problem. So you have to go and find a solution to this problem to solving this mathematics. And if you cannot solve the mathematics, you become a victim of that quadratic equation. That is what the one Nigerian terrorist government has become. We had to use a different method so that we can have a different result. Because the people that had existed before us and fought for this Biafra before us, they were using a different method that was very known and used to one Nigeria. That's why they couldn't get a different result in many years. So after considering all this, the Prime Minister came to a conclusion that he has to use a different method so that they can get a different result on destroying one Nigeria. Today, one Nigeria will not ask you how far. It is you that need to ask one Nigeria, how far is it going now? This is what many people are not keying into. How many of you would think that everybody in Nigeria will stand up and then gang up against Biafra? How many of you would think that in 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, that the entire Nigerian people, the entire race that they have in Nigeria, will turn their eyes and anger against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu for speaking Biafra? Whereas every other persons are comfortable and okay with the way one Nigeria is. But that they call Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's name as someone that came out to speak about Biafra, as someone that came out to declare ESN, set them up to the defense of Biafra land so that our mothers, our babies, our women and children and fathers, their heads will not be cut off on a daily basis like it is done in the far north as we speak now. Everybody can go up against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu because he has seen ahead of time what is coming, what one Nigeria is all about, how it is going to die, how the time bomb is going to explode, and everybody will be in one chance. Everybody can go up against him in one Nigeria. You can't go up against him. You went all the way to Kenya, you kidnapped him, you brought him to Nigeria, you lock him up in detention. Till date, he is still in detention. Sunday Igboho was also arrested, but he is released. Showore was also arrested, but he is released. Boko Haram terrorists were arrested after they have killed men, desolate communities, destroy lives and properties, and make women and men and children to be dismembered. They have all been released and they have been given preferential treatment. And the worst part of it is that all the Boko Haram terrorists that were released, they are now reintegrated, reabsorbed into the Nigerian Army, the Nigerian Air Force, the Nigerian Police, and the Nigerian Navy, and the Civil Defense. Anything that answers Nigeria, that wears uniform, they have absorbed the terrorists back into these security sectors. But Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is wallowing in detention, he's dying in detention, and they don't want to release him because he speaks Biafra, he speaks for the freedom of the people. He does not want his people to be butchered and slaughtered the way they are slaughtering people in Sokoto, Zamfara, Borno, and Meduguri. It is very, very good that they actually kidnap Mazi Nnamdi Kanu so that Biafra will come very quick. It is good that they kidnap Mazi Nnamdi Kanu because after they kidnap Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, as a mistake which they did, they actually fast forward the Biafra to come. They actually brought out the demons inside of us. They actually identified the potency and the power in the Prime Minister. He dragged out his readiness to come and restore Biafra. It also dragged out many of us to come out and align with him and give him all the support so that Biafra will be restored. That is why we are so happy that in this time that we are living, we happen to be amongst those that are fighting side by side to see that Biafra is restored. So if you are a living today, count yourself a hero of your own time, because Biafra is now discussed in the American Congress. Many of you were asking questions. This, your Biafra, are you getting support from America? Today, there are support and discussions that is ongoing in America. What question will you ask again now? If Biafra affairs not just an IPOB, but as a Biafran government presenting the issue of Biafra to the US congressmen, and Biafra is being discussed there, what else will you come to ask again? You know, when the Prime Minister started with the counting of, was it 150 days? Some of you were laughing. You laugh at him, and the days were counting, just like Mazen Namdekano, days of fasting and prayer that gave us. All of you were also laughing. You laugh, you laugh, you laugh. The days of counting came and finished, and you did not understand. We now entered into the brutal sit at home that went 3 days, 4 days, a week, and two, and you were still laughing. We even shared palliatives that worth over billions of naira to Biafrans, and you were still laughing. Then we started Eid Wakanon, you were still laughing. Then we now unveil the Biafra Liberation Army. In Helsinki, the Biafra Convention was held in 2023, and you were still laughing. Now, a referendum is ongoing that started in May, in April, and then you are still laughing. Yes, you are still laughing. Now, Biafra is being presented to the US Congress, and you are still laughing. The Biafra government dragged Nigeria to the African court, and the case is there. The awareness has been created. You are still laughing. The Biafran government dragged Nigeria case of genocide and created the awareness of making the European Union to know about the plight of the Biafran government and the Biafran people in the European Union. You still laughed at us, but the European Union have acknowledged our case that was recorded on their table. The United Nations are aware of our case on their table, and all of you are still laughing. Yes. Continue to laugh. You will laugh and laugh and laugh. We will know who laugh best. But the key point here is that within 2 years, Simon Ekpa Biafra government has done what people that had IPOB, and answer IPOB Nigeria, DOS, and existed for over 15 years, they have not been able to have a government that is fully functional and recognized of this kind and can represent Biafrans worldwide and then speak for Biafran as a government. The only government now that speaks for the Biafran people globally, and any government of any country or nations or continents will listen and honor, is the Biafran government that is led by Prime Minister Simon Ekpa, whom I am one of his officials. So we are happy to announce to all of you the good deeds and achievements of this Biafran government that has come to be and will continue to be, because more are coming and more on the way. Are you keying into the liberation, or are you standing on the fence? I want you to call your friends and family If you have not been supporting Biafra government, it is high time you did, because you are wasting your time and resources on things that will not take you to anywhere. Look at Borno today. The dam was opened and flood has taken over everywhere. Many people are dying. And I wonder where the Fulani terrorists are now that the dam is open. What has happened to their cows? It is because of the same cows that in Zamfara, they said they are going to kill people if they don't pay them over whether 30 or 20 million naira because they killed a cow. What happens to the Fulani terrorists that are camping and controlling over 8 local governments in Borno State today? Because it is in the Borno State that the flood is taking over the whole place. Is it that as the flood takes over the whole place, the Boko Haram terrorists now have a safe haven somewhere, or they prepare a safe haven for the Boko Haram terrorists where they have a safe haven and then the flood does not affect them? This very flood is supposed to consume first the Boko Haram terrorists. If this flood was actually coming to consume everything. There has been kidnapping today, earlier today this morning. And then Nigerian government only came to video the thing and put it on channels television. They could not go after the terrorists. The people were kidnapped and they hauled them into the bushes. This is what the Prime Minister of the Biafran government is stopping in Biafra land. The kidnapping, the maiming, the raping, the extortion, and the forceful disappearance of Biafrans in the Biafran communities and roads while they are traveling has been curtailed by the Biafran government Prime Minister. Without the Biafran government Prime Minister, things would have been worse compared to what you see in the far north. In the far north, you even have men that can stand up and speak for their people. But in our own end, those that call themselves elders, they have been bought off. Yes, they cannot speak nor do anything for the Biafran people because they have become puppets of the Fulani terrorists. Are you getting the point? So, without the Prime Minister, Biafrans would have been slaves to the Fulanis. Without the Prime Minister, our cases would have been worse. Without the Prime Minister, we would have been begging to eat now. Have you ever wondered why the Fulani terrorists decides to use attack in the bushes and in the forest as a weapon of warfare? Yes, because they understand that they had used starvation, food, and economic blockade on the Biafran people during the genocidal war of 66 to 70s. So they had thought that using that same pattern to plague the people will make sure that hunger strikes will kill them before the time. So what the Fulani terrorists were trying to do, by going into the bushes, going into the route, which they say Fulani terrorist grazing route, was to see that they use another systematic way of what? Food blockade and starvation. This is what they had wanted to do. They take over the forests and the bushes. They will cripple you from coming into farming so that farming will now become a thing of no-go area. So there will be food shortages and people will already be dying because of food supply. So while the terrorists in the uniform of one Nigerian army, Air Force and Navy, will be coming into the community to start killing you as they kill, you will be dying of hunger. There will be no food When you say make you stay inside house, there will be no food to eat because you say make you go into the farm to get your farm produce. The Fulani terrorists that the Nigerian government has pushed into the bushes will be killing you from inside the bush. So, food blockade will have been seen as a tool. Then starvation will now come in and people will now start dying. But you see, God showed Mazi Nnamdi Kanu this thing before the Fulani terrorists decided to embark on it. And without him wasting time, he quickly and swiftly called on the elders and leaders of Biafra land that they should set up a security network to protect our people and to flush out the terrorists from the bushes. But do you know what they did? All these people that I just called them now, that call themselves leaders and elders, they ignored Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. The governors and ministers and senators, the elders in council, the religious leaders, all those meetings that you used to hear them say, Southeast Governors Forum meeting. They told Mazi Nnamdi Kanu that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is useless, that he does not know what leadership and politics is all about in Nigeria, that he cannot stay in UK and America and be ordering them around and tell them how to rule Nigeria. The massacre continued until Mazi Nnamdi Kanu got provoked, and then he set up the ESN to protect our women and children. You see, the ESN you saw that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu set up metamorphosed into the Biafra Liberation Army, which was unveiled in Helsinki, Finland on the 23rd of October 2023. And that has become the army of God, the army of Chukwokike, the pride of the Biafran people that is protecting and keeping Biafra land today. Without this very army, your women and children that you left back home would have all been slaughtered in the hands of the terrorists. So we have every reason to say, thank you, Chukwokike, for giving us Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Thank you, Chukwokike, for giving us Simon Egba, because after Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped, Simon Egba had to take over the mantle of leadership so that we will not be left behind. If not so, we would have all been dead and gone in the hands of the Fulani terrorists. I salute all of you. Tomorrow is Friday. Then on Saturday, we have our mega fundraising, which is the general weekly fundraising. I call on all of you to key into the fundraising. I call on all of you to bring all your tithe and offering. You see all these strides that the Prime Minister is pulling. The Prime Minister will not be able to pull all these strides and have all this success without money. Engagements with the American Congress men, with the speakers of the American Congress has to do with money. You have to go through the lobbies, the appointment to be booked, and then you wait for when it is to come, and there we go. So we need money to acquire more ammunition. We need money to take care of the lobbies, which has to do the diplomatic and the political engagement of countries. We need money to be able to handle every affairs of the Biafran government. The ID card and the database, we need money. The convention that we are going to do, we need money. This Biafran coin that you see, we need money. Every departmental project that is coming up, we need money. We need money to fine-tune them. We need money to finish them. We need money to restore Biafra. And now we have the special IOU loan, which every Biafran that invests, starting from 1,000 a Gemma, $1,000, 1,000 euros, happens to stand the opportunity of getting 100% interest rates back. This is how good the IOU loan is. So, in your discussions with anyone and everyone, remember to remind them that we need finance in this Biafra liberation more than any other thing. So if there's any discussion, if there's anything that you should like about anybody, going forward is when the person is talking about the finance, the money that we need to be able to push this government to where we want it to be, so that Biafra land can be defended and we can restore Biafra. So every Saturday is our mega fundraising. Then on Sunday, being the 15th of September, there is Canada Town Hall meeting. Yes, Biafran Government Canada Town Hall meeting. You have to be here in Canada, support Canada, come and support the Biafran government in Canada. Canada Biafran government is where we have Amaka, where the Nigerian terrorist government wanted to use Amaka to eat plantain. And then Amaka cried out, and then the Biafran government came to our rescue. And this applies to every citizen of Biafra, wherever you are. Whether you have been supporting Biafra, or you have not, or you intend to, or you don't intend to, as far as you are a citizen of Biafra, you have the right to protection from your government as Biafra government. Under the watch of this Prime Minister, he has promised to defend every Biafran with this government, because it is the right of a Biafran. So be part of this event on Sunday as we raise funds and make the government to be more successful. Remember that this is where the news started. This is where the news started, that the MGAs will support Biafra's government fundamental goal to encourage the United States government to support Biafran independence and to recognize Biafra as the only entity which represents Biafra part of the agreement made. So we are calling on all of you not to sit on the fence, come down from the fence, and acknowledge the fact that we have an event coming up in November, December 2024. Be part of this memorable event and do not miss out in any of this. I salute all of you for being there. The media, keep up doing the good work. I salute all you're doing. And the Prime Minister is super proud of you all. Let's keep the fire burning as we move on. Airborne to all of you. Airborne.
Fight against Nigeria is with everything in us. Everything. And that's why we are defeating them. And those of you who do not want to be part of Biafra, pack your bag and leave Biafra land. I'm telling you, it is not going to be very conducive for you. Those of you who have been sabotaging Biafra from the time immemorial, it will not be very, very conducive. Pack your bag and go. I am telling you the fact. The people of Biafra has risen up and nothing will stop them. Fight against Nigeria is with everything in us. Everything. And that's why we are defeating them. And those of you who do not want to be part of Biafra, pack your bag and leave Biafra land. I'm telling you, it is not going to be very conducive for you. Those of you who have been sabotaging Biafra from the time immemorial, it will not be very, very conducive. Pack your bag and go. I am telling you the fact. The people of Biafra has risen up and nothing will stop them. Fight against Nigeria is with everything in us. Everything. And that's why we are defeating them. And those of you who do not want to be part of Biafra, pack your bag and leave Biafra land. I'm telling you, it is not going to be very conducive for you. Those of you who have been sabotaging Biafra from the time immemorial, it will not be very, very conducive. Pack your bag and go. I am telling you the fact. The people of Biafra has risen up and nothing will stop them.
Ije. Nigeria bumpotombo, brokotombo. If I na kundi lo bumpotombo. Ebon, water, Ebon, water, Ebon, water, Ebon, water. Mbajo my freedom, I'll get you my cow. 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 Nigerian government is evil. It's evil. Nigerian government is a killer. Yes, it's killer. Nigerian government is a murderer. Sure, they are murderers. Monkey carry money. Python swallow money. What you know go here? What you know go here now? Everybody quiet. All the youths are quiet. Musicians are quiet. Nollywood are quiet. Biafra government taking me gun. Biafra government taking me gun. Simon take me gun. Akumba walobo. Akom. Onya neku nweli phone me. Obatopie. New dimension. Yes. Multi-dimensional approach. Yes, sir. Ije. Ebon. Yes, sir. Ebon. Woto. Ebon. Woto. Ebon. Woto. Mbajo my freedom, I'll get you my cow. 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 For many years you've been killing us. Many years you've been slaving us. So broad daylight you killed us. Fuaba, Obibo, Okuama, Fabakeleke, Mbo, Enugu, Ehamufu. Thank you my mama, thank you my papa, thank you my siblings, yo. For Bayesa, don't they kill us? Rivers of Baya. Yes. I can make one day I live there. You can't kill us again and go free. At this time, I'm not watching it. Equal people have attacked us. Different spirit, take on you go. You the push us. You go push you. You go fight us. You go fight you. At the end, the Biafra got to lay down. Ebon, woto. Ebon, woto. Ebon, woto. Mbajo my freedom, I'll get you my cow. 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 Nigeria government, let Biafra go. Biafra never go. Biafra never go. One day Biafra to go down. Biafra to go down. If you love Biafra, or you be a Biafra, raise your hand in the air. The let you go to Biafra. Me for them man. Yes. Anya nabagon. Biafra nabagon. Biafra to go down. Anwa chabagon. Biafra nabagon. Biafra nabagon. Anwa chabagon. Biafra to go down. Candida Igualuna, no, 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 no. Yes, sir.